What if I told you there is a single prayer so powerful, so feared in hell, that it forced Satan himself to fall on his knees and beg for mercy? This is not a legend, not a symbol, not an exaggeration. It is the chilling confession of a demon during a real exorcism, when an exorcist demanded to know what the devil fears most. And to the shock of everyone in the room, the demon admitted that the rosary, the simple chain of beads so many of us neglect, burns him like fire with every Hail Mary. Imagine that, a prayer that millions of Catholics around the world whisper daily, often without realizing the magnitude of its force, is the very weapon that terrifies demons to their core. But here is the shocking truth: this power of the rosary is not fully understood, not even by many Christians. Most people think of it as repetition, as tradition, as something only the elderly or devout use. But the demon's own confession revealed that every bead carries a supernatural weight that crushes the enemy of souls. Stay with me until the very end of this video, because I will share exactly what the demon revealed, word for word, about the rosary, and why it is considered the prayer that humiliates Satan most of all. What you are about to hear may completely change the way you pray. And let me ask you something right now: do you believe in the power of prayer? If you do, write Ave Maria in the comments as a sign of your faith. It may look like a small gesture, but it unites us into one powerful chain of believers. And as you will see, that chain, just like the beads of the rosary, can shake the very foundations of hell. It all began in a quiet room, where an experienced exorcist was face to face with a tormented soul. The atmosphere was heavy, the air almost impossible to breathe. The prayers had already started, and the battle between light and darkness was underway. Suddenly, as the exorcist pressed forward invoking the name of the Virgin Mary, the demon that had possessed the victim began to shriek in agony. Its voice twisted, full of rage and fear, until finally, the priest demanded, "Tell me, what is it that you fear the most?" The demon's reply shook everyone present. In a guttural scream, it confessed, "The rosary, stop the rosary, every bead burns me, every Hail Mary crushes me." Think about that for a moment. A chain of simple prayers, words you and I can whisper any day, any hour, has the power to make hell tremble. The very weapon that the Queen of Heaven placed into the hands of her children is so devastating to demons that they beg for it to stop. This is not just a ritual, not just a habit, it is a spiritual sword forged through centuries of faith and blood, wielded by saints, popes, martyrs, and ordinary believers alike. And yet, how many of us forget it? How many leave it buried in a drawer, gathering dust, while evil works tirelessly every single day to destroy families, sow despair, and steal souls? The demon's confession is a wake-up call. The rosary is not optional in times like these, it is essential. If you have ever felt attacked spiritually, if you have ever felt darkness pressing against you in your life, understand this: the weapon is already in your hands. And if you don't yet pray the rosary daily, let this be your invitation. Because as you will discover in this video, even the most powerful demons cannot withstand it. Before we go further, I invite you, if you believe that the rosary is a weapon of light, drop a simple "yes" in the comments right now. Let's see how many warriors of prayer we have gathered here today. Why does the rosary terrify demons so much? To understand this, we need to look deeper than beads and words. The rosary is not merely repetition, it is a meditation on the greatest mysteries of salvation, the life, death, and resurrection of Christ. Every Hail Mary is a cry to heaven, every Our Father a call for God's authority, and every Glory be a proclamation of eternal victory. When prayed with faith, the rosary becomes a chain of light, binding evil and forcing it to kneel before the Queen of Heaven. Saint Padre Pio, a modern mystic and stigmatist, once called the rosary his weapon. He carried it constantly, prayed it endlessly, and urged his spiritual children never to abandon it. He knew something that demons themselves confirmed in exorcisms, that Mary's intercession is unbearable for them. Why? Because she is the one chosen by God to crush the head of the serpent. Every time you whisper, "Hail Mary, full of grace," it echoes as a hammer blow against the kingdom of darkness. Exorcists around the world have witnessed the same phenomenon. When the Rosary begins, demons grow restless, agitated, enraged. They mock, they resist, they scream, but they cannot endure for long. And when forced to speak, they admit their weakness, they are powerless against the Rosary. But here is the part most people don't realize: the Rosary is not only for priests or mystics. It is for ordinary believers, for families, for children, for the elderly. When prayed in unity, its power multiplies. It is as if every bead links us into a spiritual army, stretching across the world and across time. Imagine millions of voices, all calling upon the same Mother. How could hell not tremble? And yet, the most terrifying confession of all is still to come. Because during that exorcism, the demon did not stop at admitting that the Rosary burns like fire. No, it revealed something far darker, something that exposes why the Rosary is hated more than any other devotion. And in a moment, you will hear exactly what those words were. Before we move forward, I want you to pause and reflect. Do you pray the Rosary daily, or only in emergencies? Write it in the comments, daily, or sometimes. You may be surprised how many people here are on the same journey as you. At the height of the exorcism, the priest's voice thundered through the prayer, "In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you, tell me the truth. What do you fear the most?" The possessed body convulsed violently, the room shook with guttural screams, and then, in a voice not of this world, the demon cried out, "Stop the Rosary. It crushes me. Every Hail Mary is a blazing fire." These were not the words of a mystic or a theologian. They were the desperate screams of the enemy himself, forced by the authority of God to reveal his greatest weakness. The demon admitted that the Rosary is not only a prayer but a weapon that scorches them with every repetition. Each bead, each invocation of Mary's name, is like a chain of fire that binds them tighter, leaving them powerless to resist. Think about the weight of that confession. For centuries, saints and popes have declared the Rosary the most effective prayer for spiritual battle. But here, the demon itself confirmed it. Hell trembles not at human strength, not at our wisdom, but at the humble, persistent prayers of believers united with the Mother of God. And what struck the exorcist even more was how the demon begged. It didn't merely complain, it begged. "Enough, no more Hail Marys, she is crushing me." These words echo the prophecy from Genesis: "She will crush your head, and you will strike her heel." The Rosary is the living fulfillment of that ancient promise. Every time you take those beads in your hands, you participate in that crushing victory. But here lies the mystery: if the Rosary has such devastating power, why do so many neglect it? Why is it that demons fear it more than any weapon, yet countless Christians let it sit untouched? Could it be that the enemy's greatest deception is to make us underestimate the very prayer that defeats him? Stay with me, because in the next moments we will uncover exactly why demons fear Mary's intercession so deeply, and how the Rosary is not only a protection for your soul but also a weapon that can change your family, your home, and your destiny. And if you've made it this far, I want you to write just one word in the comments: victory. Because every Rosary is a victory waiting to be claimed. Why is the Rosary so unbearable to demons? The answer lies not only in the repetition of words but in the reality they invoke. Every Hail Mary is a direct call to the Virgin Mother, the one chosen by God to bring Christ into the world, the one who crushed the serpent's head through her obedience. Demons hate Mary because she is the living proof that a human being, filled with grace, can defeat them completely. She is pure where they are corrupt, humble where they are proud, obedient where they are rebellious. Her very presence is torture to them. When we pray the Rosary, we are not just repeating phrases, we are invoking her intercession over and over again. Each prayer is like a hammer striking at the walls of hell. The mysteries of the Rosary, the joyful, the sorrowful, the glorious, and the luminous, are a complete meditation on the Gospel itself. By meditating on the life of Christ through Mary's eyes, we invite heaven into our present struggles, and demons cannot stand it. The Rosary is also communal. It is not only about one person praying, but about millions across the world lifting the same words. Imagine the battlefield, millions of voices calling upon Mary at the same time, asking for her protection. That is not just prayer, it is an army. The demon's confession confirmed this reality. What terrifies them most is not merely the words themselves, but the unity, the faith, and the unbreakable chain of believers who call upon the Mother of God day and night. And this is why the Rosary protects families, heals hearts, and shields homes. Countless testimonies reveal that when a family begins to pray the Rosary together, peace returns, addictions break, and evil retreats. Priests have said time and time again, when the Rosary enters a home, darkness leaves. So let me ask you, do you want to protect your family, your children, your future? The demon has already confessed the secret. The Rosary is the shield. The question is, will you pick it up? If you are ready to take this weapon in your hands, write Rosary in the comments below. Let the enemy know you are not afraid. Beyond the spiritual battlefield, the Rosary has another dimension of power, one that even modern psychology cannot deny. Think about it. When you pray the Rosary, you are repeating a rhythm of words that slows the heart, calms the breath, and focuses the mind. Scientists have studied repetitive prayer and discovered that it reduces anxiety, lowers stress, and creates a deep sense of inner peace. What the demon revealed in terror, psychology confirms in data. This prayer reshapes the human heart. Every bead is an anchor, pulling us away from chaos and back into silence. In a world addicted to noise, distraction, and fear, the Rosary trains the mind to focus on something eternal. Instead of racing thoughts or spirals of worry, you enter into a meditative state, guided not by emptiness, but by sacred mysteries. This is why so many people testify that even in their darkest moments, picking up the Rosary restored their hope. It is not only an act of faith but also an act of healing. And let's remember the story of the exorcist. When the demon begged for the Rosary to stop, it wasn't only because of its spiritual fire. It was also because the Rosary connects souls with a peace the enemy cannot imitate. Demons thrive on confusion, fear, and despair. But every Hail Mary breaks that chain. Every Our Father resets the heart in truth. And every Glory Be lifts the soul above darkness into the light. This is why saints like Padre Pio insisted, the Rosary is the weapon. He knew it disarmed demons, but he also knew it strengthened believers. It gave courage, clarity, and endurance in a world that constantly tries to break us down. So when you pray the Rosary, you are not only protecting your soul, you are training your mind, calming your heart, and aligning your spirit with God. That is why the demon's confession matters so much. It proves that what feels like simple beads in your hand is, in fact, a chain of victory. If you believe this truth, type peace in the comments. Because peace is exactly what the enemy cannot stand, and peace is exactly what the Rosary brings. The demon's shocking confession leaves us with no doubt, the Rosary is a weapon of fire, feared in hell and victorious in heaven. It is not superstition, not tradition, but the living chain that binds Satan himself and forces him to beg for mercy. Every Hail Mary is a blow, every mystery a shield, every bead a link in the chain of triumph. And the demon admitted it with his own words, he cannot endure it. But here is the question that remains: if one rosary can cause so much torment to hell, what happens when millions of believers rise together in prayer? What would it mean if families, communities, and entire nations return to the rosary as their daily weapon? Could that be the key to turning the tide of the spiritual battle that rages in our world right now? The truth is clear, the rosary is not optional, it is urgent. In these dark times, we cannot afford to be unarmed. And the enemy himself has confessed what terrifies him most. You now know the secret. The question is, will you act on it? If you are watching this, I challenge you right now, take your rosary tonight. Pray it. Even if you have never done it before, even if you feel distracted, even if you feel weak, start. Because every single prayer is a blow against the enemy. And together, we can shake the gates of hell. Here's my call to you: do not leave without making a decision. Write in the comments, "I will pray," as a public declaration of faith. Share this video so that more souls can awaken to the power of the rosary. And above all, subscribe to this channel right now, because the battle is not over. Because in the next video, I will reveal another prayer that demons fear even more, one so hidden, so powerful, that exorcists themselves call it their last resort. You do not want to miss it. So hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and let's continue this journey together. The rosary is your weapon. The time is now. Take it, pray it, and never let it go.